Well, hi, Enthusiastic Steve here, and I do apologise for the title. I hope I didn't scare any of the younger people off by saying that life before internet. There was life before internet. It may be hard for some of you to actually comprehend that, but I'm going back and looking at some CB nostalgia. Here in the UK, we're just about celebrating the 40th anniversary of legal CB radio. And I thought I'd look back and look over some magazines, some adverts, look at some of the old radios briefly and the antennas, and bring back a lot of memories for those who used to do CB radio back in the 70s and early 80s, before it was legal and after it was legalised. It certainly is a nostalgic subject. And for the younger people who, again, may not recall those days, those were definitely the days that got me basically involved into radio. And this is why I'm still continuing radio today. So here we go. CB Nostalgia. 1919, channel 19, break. CB radio, as we know, it was born in the US of A. They started out using 23 channel AM only radios. In the 1970s, British television and film were looking towards America for excitement. Many films and TV programmes were showing CB radios. Cult films like Convoy, Smokey and the Bandit, and the Dukes of Hazzard. It wasn't long before the British public wanted a slice of the action. Black markets were set up importing these radios into the UK. At the time, it was illegal to do so and illegal to operate them, which made them even more interesting to the general public. Some radio retailers have started to import these radios, and to get around the rules and regulations, they sold them as receive only, but always gave you a little bit of paper to say, if you go inside, guys, snip this wire or rejoin this solder joint, it becomes a transceiver. One of my first CB radios was a 120 channel AM called a WKS 1001. I picked that one up at the back of a custom car shop. I went in and bought an antenna and a microphone, which was legal to do. And the guy at the counter, if he liked the look of your face, would say, come back at 4 o'clock, mate, come round the back. And there was a Mercedes, a boot full of CB radios. I think I bought about 5 antennas before he asked me back. It took a while, but eventually with the popularity of CB and the pressure put upon the government, they actually legalised it in November 81. They allocated a very odd set of frequencies or channels to the UK market and called it UK FM. This was primarily done so existing illegal CBs could not really be used on the current UK FM frequencies. During the lead up to legalisation, magazines, clubs, etc. sprouted and became very popular, as did political satire. Many CB radio magazines sprouted at this time and appeared in the local stationery shops. Citizen Band, CB World, Breaker, to name just a few. They were informative, factual, and adorned with adverts of these glorious CB radios, much influenced by the American market. Looking back now, some of these magazines were a little bit risque in their way they advertised, but that was the culture at the time in the 70s. So there we were, driving around in our Ford Capris and our Ford Escorts with fire stick antennas on the back of the car, great big 6-7 foot long whip antennas, trying to avoid the Smoky Bears or the police. So where do we meet up? Seafront locations, hilltops, and also the pub, affectionately known as the Bottle Break. This is my original CB club badge. I was affectionately known as a Bigfoot. The club I belonged to was Lakefront Breakers, and that was based on Leon the Solent in the Bellevue Hotel pub. Of course, we didn't want to give away our locations to the Smoky Bears, so we came up with all code words for our favourite locations and favourite pubs. As you can see from this list here of my local area, there are some quite imaginative names. Yeah, please feel free, pause on it and have a read through. And here's one for the actual bottle breaks themselves. As you can see, the Bellevue Hotel was actually called the Palace. Around 60 to 80 people a week used to gather at these radio clubs on a Sunday night, and we used to go out on fox hunts. Don't panic, no foxes were involved. It's just a term they use for hunting down another sea beer. I also came across this flyer. Her Majesty's Sailors do it legally. Even they were getting on the act producing this flyer when CB became legal. Let's take a quick look at some hardware. Taken from the magazines, here's a range of Cobra radios. Of course, the Cobra 148 is now a classic icon of its time. Midlands also made a great range of radios. What was your favourite CB radio? Do you remember the Ham Internationals, the Majors, the Jaws? Many people try to get the Jaws 2 radio because it was so compact, it was easy to hide in your car. Here in the UK, they tried to replicate all the bells and whistles of the American radios, but we ended up with straight 40 UK FM radio sets. As times move forward, we've got export radios. These are more adaptable. Let's just leave it there. Home base antennas were large for the 11 metre band and started to stand out on the English skyline. Who recalls the famous boomerang antenna, ideal for a flat location? Or something just slightly larger. The Skylab became a very popular antenna. I remember seeing one of these on top of a garage in Portsmouth, my local city. It was there for about 20 odd years. Hi, this has been Enthusiastic Steve talking about CB nostalgia. Hopefully that's allowed you to recall some fond memories of days gone by and CB radio in its infancy. So if you've not subscribed before, or considered about subscribing to my channel, there is more content on its way. Please feel free to tick the old box and subscribe. That helps boost my numbers. And I just want to say thank you very much for viewing. Have a look at some of my other videos again and revisit those if you wish. This has been Enthusiastic Steve saying 73s until the next one. Goodbye.